Here we have a shot of my PA 260 that I just finished building, and you can see I have just a small battery in here. I'm about to connect that battery to the ESC, and I have my radio right here, which is turned off at the moment, and I realize that you should turn the radio on first, but I want to demonstrate what this problem is. So I've plugged in the battery, and you can hear the ESC beeping because the throttle can't make a connection to the receiver. And I'm going to turn my radio on, and it's set up with the model for the for this plane, DX8, as you saw there. Now it's booted. And now you can hear the noise. It's being made by this servo. Nothing wrong there, nothing wrong with any of the other servos. And if I touch it, it can stop. And by the way, I can move my control surfaces just fine. I'm in low rates right now. But here it started again. If I touch it, it'll stop. If when it's doing that, if I put my hand underneath on the servo arm, I can feel it vibrating back and forth. So that's my question basically is, what is causing that? This is the only servo that's doing it. It's a bit disturbing, and when the airplane flies, it flies reasonably well, but it's a little twitchy. It kind of scares me that this thing is sitting here doing this. I had two thoughts. First is that perhaps the voltage to the servo is too high or too low, but it is set at, I believe, 7.2 volts. And in the next clip, I'll show you that. And here you have a shot of the 260 with the cowling removed. And I'm looking now at the ESC, and the connection, or the jumpers, a little bit hard to see here, but it's on contacts 1 and 2. Pins 1 and 2 are jumpered together. And if you go to the instructions, it shows that 1 and 2 gives you 7.4 volts. If you come over here to the box I have for the servos I got, the NXT70 HVs, you should be able to see that it is listed, 7.4 volts is listed as one of the voltages. It gives me 0.11 second response. And there's also a 6 volt listing there, but it's 7.4 volts, and 7.4 volts is what I have the jumper pin set at. You have to realize that you have to turn this over to get what you're seeing here. This is on the label side, and I've got it with the fins pointed down into the airstream as in the instructions. But those are pins 1 and 2 that are jumpered, and according to this, 1 and 2 gives you 7.4 volts, and that's the way it was when it was supplied to me. So my question is, perhaps 7.4 volts is too high. Perhaps I should go back to 6. Or maybe it's the fact that I've used the high timing, which if you look at the paper I received with the unit, if you're using the ESC to power a T45 Revo motor, please change the timing to high. And this is the 45 Revo, as best I understand it. Yeah, it says Revo 45. That's what it says on the label. So, why is it sitting there vibrating? It doesn't seem to be a mechanical problem. The servos work just fine. But in the center, you know, where they are positioned in the center, and this is the right wing, you can see it's centered perfectly, and everything's fine in the linkage. It sits here and it just vibrates like crazy, and that bothers me. What's my solution? What should I do?